Ladies and gentlemen, to whom it concerns, it's The Late Late Show. And here is your host, Gay Byrne.
Oh, Scrappy. Never mind. Good evening. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. We are gathered here this evening, my brethren all, to congratulate and to join in the celebrations for the 25th anniversary of one of the grandest little bands in the world. Would you welcome, please, the Chieftains? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Chieftains, and it has been said of them that what has endeared them to so many fans down through the years, all the 25 years, is that whether they're in the Carnegie Hall in New York, or the Albert Hall in London, or here at home, or at the Great Wall of China, wherever they are in the world, they have steadfastly maintained their absolute devotion to Irish traditional music, and that has been unwavering all through the years. Good evening to you, Doctor.
Well, now that you mentioned it, good evening to you, Doctor.
Nice to have you with us, Doctor, and congratulations on your 25th. Now, the first thing I have to put to you is that it has been said of you, Doctor, that you operate constantly, non-stop, it says here, like a man with a mission and little time to complete it. Why?
I don't know. It's that terrible urge. There's so much to do, and I suppose we're devils for punishment, you might say. But no, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it, and it's a whole big family here. You know, it's just that's the way it is. And
but it's mainly the money.
to keep the pot boiling anyway.
Yes, and you still persist in saying that you let the music speak for itself down through the years.
That's right. Like we place music first, places and people we play for second, and then the few bob if they roll in, or if it rolls in third. And that's our sort of priorities.
Martin, you've been with them since day one, with the Chieftains since day one.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you ever get fed up with the travelling? Have you had any scares, by the way, at all?
Oh, one in particular. We were actually forced down one time in Moncton. Was it a place called Moncton?
Yeah.
Canada somewhere? Big aircraft forced down to a small airfield, which reminds me, if I may say so, Sean Potts was very much with us at the time. I've never seen this happen before, but we were told, no way can you get off this flight. We were only sitting out the storm. Sean said, watch me. I got off. Oh, yes.
In the middle of Canada.
It's the only one that had sense. The only one with sense enough to get off.
In the middle of Canada.
In the middle of nowhere.
And where did he go?
He got into a taxi and took a trip out to about 80-mile trip to the next town, Halifax, I think it was. And then he started to read his book, and he was quite happy in reading. And all of a sudden he looked up and he realised the car was on the wrong side of the road because he couldn't go onto the other side. There was such a wind, you know, it was 90 miles an hour, gale blowing. So I think there was something like that.
Apparently in that part of the world, winds can rise up like to 110 miles. By the way, Paddy was 110 miles an hour, not 90. But Paddy was right. In the taxi on the way to the next town, we came to this gap in the embankment. You know the way these motorways are built with a big high embankment? We came to this gap, and the wind was so strong that the car was blowing from one side of the road to the other. And I said, geez, I'm worried about the flight. Did he kill on the ground? So I got the next flight to St. John's anyway, met them in the hotel and did the gig.
You're happy tonight to be sitting there rather than up here, are you?
Absolutely gay.
Delighted with yourself. Yeah, very good. They all want as well. What about the times of Jim Aiken and so on? Nick, you were there then, were you not?
I was, yeah. That was in the early days before we were, before we started on the road at all, and we were looking around for or managers were looking around for us. I'm not quite sure which. But I remember we had a big meeting with Jim Aiken anyhow when he told us all he'd be prepared to do for us and so on. And we went away after a couple of hours and discussed it amongst ourselves. And a few of the group, who shall be nameless, decided that Jim wasn't big enough for us. He hadn't got enough experience.
Couldn't handle this at all. Dear, oh dear. Yeah. Wrong, Mick, wrong. Are you still making music, Mick, at all yourself?
I do. I play a little bit, not as much as I used to, but...
He dances a lot.
He dances a lot, I see. Well, yeah. What about
dancing
you, Sean?
is the big thing.
Are you still doing something?
Oh, I'm playing all the time, yeah.
Yeah.
I have never stopped.
Yes. Are you recording at the moment?
Well, I've just finished a record, yeah. I'm ready to go now, you know.
Very good.
But I've never stopped. But I miss these guys terribly at times, you know.
Yeah. Obviously, he doesn't miss you enough. I tell you what, there's a young man over here, and he started out in Skid Row with Brush Shields and the late Phil Lynott. Last year, he released an album called Wild Frontier. And in that, he said about marrying the traditional instruments together with a lot of the electronic gear, which has become so popular in the heavy rock scene over the last 10 or 15 years. And we reckon it was one of the first attempts to marry the two different technologies, as it were. And it was very, very successful indeed. Wherever you are at home, turn up your sound for this. Turn up the sound of your television for this. Turn it right up. Don't be afraid of it. Sit well back and turn up the sound. Would you welcome, please, Gary Moore?